Hello everyone, again my name is Stephen Mullennex and thank you for sticking around for the last video in my 5-video mini-series about the DoD 8570 and some of the certification bodies that go along with it. For this final video, I want to talk about a very important aspect of certifications, and that's CEUs. For CompTIA and EC Council, they call it CEUs, which are Continuing Education Units. For ISC Squared, they call it CPEs, which is Continuing Professional Enhancement, I believe. Nope, Continuing Professional Education. But it's basically the same concept. So once you obtain one of these certifications, what CompTIA used to have back in the day was lifetime certs. And that was basically once you obtain a certification and it's a lifetime cert, you can have it forever. Well, now they've done away with all of it, and all of those certification bodies out there are kind of going along the same lines, because they basically want to make sure that the IT industry and security, all of that's changing all the time. There's new zero-day attacks, new vulnerabilities. Everything is changing at such a rapid pace. They want to make sure that once you obtain one of these certifications, that you're continuing to be educated about what kind of threats are out there and what kind of IT information you need to know to stay up to date. So they added these CEUs. So from what I can tell, all of these certification bodies, once you get a certification, it's good for 3 years. So basically, 3 years from the time you get it, that's how long your certification is good for. And each of these certifications has an annual fee. I think prices kind of change differently based off what level of certification you have, but I can tell you for Security Plus, the annual fee is $50 a year. You can pay the $150 for 3 years, and then once you pay that money, you're able to keep your certification active. But along with that is you have to submit CEUs, which are these credits that you get for attending conferences or writing articles, or I think some of them are like authoring a book, or continuing your education and getting like a new certification. So what I did was I got Security Plus. I paid my annual fee for $50, and that allowed me to add CEUs. And I got my Certified Ethical Hacker after my Security Plus, and getting a certification from another certifying body that's outside of CompTIA is worth 50 CEUs. So what I did was I submitted my, excuse me, I submitted my Certified Ethical Hacker certificate into my CompTIA CEUs, and suddenly I meet the CEU requirement for 3 years, which is only 50 CEUs. So now my Security Plus is basically good for 6 years. All I'll have to do is end up paying the $50 every year after that. So when you do that, your certificate stays active that entire time. So basically, you want to keep up to date with all this so your certifications don't go inactive. And once that happens, you have to retest again. So a lot of these courses I was going to, like I went to a certified ethical hacker course, and some of the older guys there, they had got this cert, a while ago, and they just forgot about their CEUs, or they didn't, re-up or stay relevant with all the information that they had to do and submit to these certifying bodies, and then they lose the cert. And once you lose the cert, then you have to study all over again for a test that is really hard. Whereas I think it's a lot easier to just do what you have to do, attend conferences or write articles, or stay up to date so you can submit those. So like I said, CompTIA is a little bit different. This is their level for all their certs, the number of CEUs that you have to submit in a 3-year period. Here's EC Council, which it's kind of hard figuring this stuff out because everyone uses a different format. But here, EC Council's policy is they use an ECE scheme, which means you have to get a total of 120 credits or these CEUs over a period of 3 years. And EC Council's annual fee is more. It's actually $80 a year. So you have to keep in mind that you're paying money to keep these certifications active every single year. So $50 for the Security Plus every year. For my CEH, it's going to be $80 every year, and I have to do more credits. And I think what they're trying to do with EC Council is that you have to hit an even number of CEUs every single year, whereas CompTIA, I did all of them at once. But for EC Council, I think you have to divide it up to 40 every single year. And that's kind of the same with, if I end up getting the CISP from ISC Squared, that is, you have to hit annual CPE requirements, which is 40 CPEs every single year, and then you have to pay the $85 annual fee. So what's that? $85 for 3 years for ISC squared, then $80 for 3 years for EC Council, and then $50 every year for CompTIA. So yeah, it's a lot of money to keep these certifications active, but it definitely makes sure that you're relevant on topics. And I think it's a very important aspect that not a lot of people really think about when they're getting these certs. Which I just learned about all of this the past couple months once I started getting into it, and I definitely don't want any of my certifications to go inactive. So that is basically a rundown of the 8570 certifications that cover all these different levels, the different certification bodies, CompTIA, EC Council, and ISC Squared. Those are the pretty well-known ones. And then CEUs. So I just want to thank you all the time for watching my videos. And I'm looking forward to graduating here in the spring, assuming I pass all my classes. So again, thank you. My name's Stephen Mullennex, and I hope you all have a great one. Bye-bye.